Hey, my name is Andre Bernier. I'm a Los Angeles-based pianist and bassist, and I just had the absolute honor of playing an arena gig with Abby Carter, the winner of American Idol. It was a deeply, deeply exciting experience, and I wanted to bring a little camera along and kind of document the whole day and experience, and just, yeah, it was a really amazing time. So I got the call for this gig through a friend of mine from college. I think it's worth saying if you're in college, like the people that are around you now may very well be the people that you play with for the rest of your life. I know I found that with an indie band that I work with, Carter Vale, the Dirt Man, as you may know him. He's one of my best friends in the entire world, and it was true of this gig, where these were just friends of mine that I'd known from school, and I got the call because they said, we need a keys player, and we know that you're in town and you play keys. So Michael Edwards was the guy that called me. He's a wonderful guitar player and amazing producer, and so he's been working with Abby for a long time, especially on the production front. And so it was sort of a no-brainer when she needed an MD for this first show of hers after winning Idol that she would go to him for that. So Michael basically threw the band together. It consisted of me, an amazing drummer named Cash, who I'd never met before, and a good friend of mine named Alex Arnott, who I've known for many years, and Alex Arnott plays bass unbelievably well. And so basically that was the band. It was just the four of us and then running tracks. So when you get to an arena gig, there's a lot going on all the time. People are putting stuff up. They were building risers on stage. They were building like some kind of scaffolding thing out front, I think, to keep people from rushing the stage. Just a lot of different people doing a lot of different jobs. They're rigging, they're getting together monitor mix stuff. And I came in, speaking of monitor mixes, I thought I was going to have my own little setup that I always use on gigs. And I took a little video of that setup, so I'll kind of narrate over that. So here was the setup that I was planning on using. And I should say this got derailed. So before we get too into this, just know this is the setup I prefer, but this is not the one that I ended up using. I was going to have my Nord Stage 4 running stereo, of course, out into a radial DI box. And from the throughs on the radial DI box, those throughs, which are just basically a parallel signal, are getting sent to my Soundcraft 8FX. I love this little mixer. If you're in the market for a mixer like this, it's incredible. It has built-in reverb. It's Lexicon reverb. I don't know if it's the same quality as the actual rack unit from the 80s, but man, it sounds pretty good, especially for a tiny little mixer that costs like $150. I'm very, very impressed with it. So either way, that's running into my little mixer. I don't run any reverb on those stereo Nord channels when they come in because I want to hear everything exactly as it is from the board as it's being sent to the front of house. That's really, really important to me. But how I was planning on running this is to have them send me a line out from their board with a monitor mix, the same way you would mix a monitor on stage, but just send me an XLR and I would plug it into input 1 on my board. Now, input 1 is mono, but that's no problem. I would just take a mono send and then I can put a little bit of Lexicon reverb on it from the board internally. No one's ever going to hear that in the house, obviously. And that's just what's running to my ear. That way I have stereo ears for my keys and then everybody else is mono straight down the middle with a little bit of reverb coating those vocals. This is a really effective system. I use this on nearly every gig that I do now, even though it takes more setup time than just running my QSC monitor the way that I used to. I really prefer it because to me, it just feels better. So either way, that's what I was planning on doing. But I told you before, that's not what ended up happening. What ended up happening is they said, wow, we actually don't have the infrastructure for running you an XLR because we're doing everything wireless. So we just have a wireless pack for you. I was like, okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I'm not used to using just a wireless pack. I've done it before, especially at church gigs. It's no problem, but what it also meant is I was not going to be able to get crisp and clean audio for this video that you're seeing right now, which is too bad because I was looking forward to it. It was going to sound a little something like this. You hear how clean that is? Dude, that was my plan the whole time. So anyways, that did not end up happening, of course. I'm sad about that, but it's okay. It really is okay. At the end of the day, what matters most is that the sound was getting to the board properly. I was totally fine to use my little Rode Video Mic Go 2 to record the show during the actual set. So something I wrestled with when I was actually like cutting together a lot of this footage is like, how much of this show do I actually want to show you, right? I don't want to make this video like an hour long, but I also want to cover some of like the more interesting, points and moments of it. For me, the highlight was easily when everybody took out their phones and, did the lighters thing. And that is about as amazing an experience as you can have on stage as a musician, to see just an arena full of lights like that. I'm really happy I brought this camera along so I could kind of get that POV. It's an amazing, amazing thing. I want to say Abby Carter was unbelievably great at this show. Just incredible, and such a joy to work with too, for real. She is one of the nicest artists I have ever had the experience of working with, and just when it was time to lock in, I mean, she was dialed. Amazing, just amazing, an insanely hard worker, and I don't like when people say an incredible talent, because I think talent is something that's overrated in this business, and she has something more than talent. She has ethic, real work ethic, and an ability, and oh my gosh, did that ever come through. So Abby Carter is an incredible musician and an incredible human being.
That's him, dude. It's an arena, baby.
What? This isn't the Mint?
One hand, two bass.
Wow, look at him go. This is where I should offer to help you. I have not offered to help you. Do you want help?
That's all good.
He's carrying like 9 guitars.
It's all good.
Let's fucking go. We're talking about this. This is a 118. What are we talking about? All right, give me that
That's
again.
bigger than some car rims.
Dude, it's profanely big.
It's stupid.
It's gigantic. At 15 is considered big.
Yeah.
Tell me
I
about
saw
this.
Flea do it.
Flea does what, at 118?
He probably does a 15.
But have you seen the there used to be like Jocko's amp of choice was that acoustic?
Oh
amp?
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Those
about?
huge ones.
That gigantic one, dude. I don't even know what
Crazy.
it's called. I mean,
It's
I know
nuts.
it's called an acoustic, but I don't know the like actual name
It's
of
like
the
the
model.
blue and white.
Yeah. And then now
crazy.
I only know them for their terrible guitar amps.
Yep.
That's
Awful.
All I know them for. Awful.
Acoustic. Get it together.
Acoustics gotta get it together. We're not getting the endorsement now.
Do you want to see my favorite part of this whole thing?
Of course we do.
Cable. Oh no. How do I know if it works? Oh no. Well, you just go.
Oh, and it shows you?
Cable's good.
Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I need that.
Great.
I like the cable check.
And if it doesn't work, if there's a break at any point, there's a little X under it.
So is this just for tuning and for testing cables?
This
and
one is just tuning and cable check. This
love
is just the preamp. It's a tube preamp section of a Fender Bassman in its own rack unit.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I'm only running the power amp section of this Carbon.
Did you say this is tube?
This is tube.
That's tube?
That's all tube.
Is it heavy as hell?
That's pretty heavy.
It looks small. Oh shit, tube.
Yep.
Tube bass preamp. What do you know? Wow.
This one's a dual monoblock 1500 watt split into two 750 watt independent controls for each cab.
Jesus Christ, Alex.
You can do a crossover if you want, just under 100 going to the 18 if you want.
Oh my God. Wait, so this is separated by cab?
Yeah,
Wow.
each cab has its own control.
Dude, that's insane.
It's fun.
That's insane.
It's really fun.
It's outrageous.
I get to use it maybe once every 5 years.
You need to be stopped.
Someone restrained this man. Got it all just kind of tidy.
All figured out, dude. All dialed in.
Dude,
This is the Ampeg from the backline company?
yes, it is. Oh no, this is just where they set it up.
Who's gonna run his click track out of this one?
Only cues. Just Michael's
Chorus.
voice coming out of there.
You got it. So it's 8 bars, right? So it's just gonna be the same thing, and then it has that little button at the end. So like this. Back. One more time. And then right here. I think we can do another hit. We can just end on that E minor. It's whatever. It's all getting done.
At the office. This is the common grounds
Oh my.
at the office.
Just another day.
It's another day. This is my cubicle. This is where I sit and do paperwork.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Question, America and world.
Yeah, this is going to America. This is going straight to America.
Who determined that we are responsible enough to be doing such a thing?
Fully with you.
Who gave us the permission to do this?
Bro, I kid you not. I looked directly at a laser earlier, like directly into it.
You're playing like
Fucked my shit up a little bit. Like my left eye feels crazy right now. And I was just Googling. Don't Google. Don't Google if you look into a laser. We're getting it done. We're absolutely getting it done.
Dude, my nipples are perky, dude. It's like 50 degrees.
That's what I'm saying. Stadiums are cold.
It's freezing.
Stadiums are freezing.
Yeah.
And it will feel like this tonight. And
This is usually a hockey rink. Like
that
it's-
makes sense.
You know?
Okay, here's something. Do they just cover the ice, or do they like literally melt ice
Yeah.
every time? You know
That's
what
my
I'm
question too.
It's an excellent question.
saying? Right? Is it underneath there? Because it could be. It could be.
Wait, that's actually insane.
Or do they like? I mean, they got the Zambonis already. Is there a guy that like comes in and floods the place the day before?
Oh, that's the best news I've heard all day.
That's my act.
Meet in a van.
That is my Acrisure arena.
I paid my whole ticket for that van.
Yeah. The meat
For the
van.
Thai sandwich.
The meat van is my American Idol.
I don't care. It's caffeinated. There is coffee.
It's not hot, but it is coffee.
So there's two Michaels.
They're discussing show stuff.
This is also Michael.
Little do they know.
Yeah, right.
Mike has no idea what he's doing.
So
I like that. I like that right there.
A little bit of a
Little
lukewarm coffee.
Hot enough is better than too hot.
that is true.
But you can wait out too hot. Lukewarm's just not going to get better.
I'm impatient.
I get it. I do get it. Yeah, a little bit of creamer in there, that would be fine.
Also, my lips are so chapped.
Yeah, it's the desert. It's that desert air, brother.
You know, I think it's worth mentioning after all these clips of like really cool show stuff. You know, you only ever see one side of these things online, and I thought it'd be interesting to show another side of what happened this evening, because frankly, this was about 2 hours out of town for me. I live in LA, and this was in the desert area. And so I had to drive back. And when you're driving back, there's this initial stretch of land that's very, very windy, especially at night. And so I was driving back, and all of a sudden I could hear like a sort of a crumpling kind of sound, and then like a little bit of commotion. But I was like, we'll let that sort itself out. I have to get home. I'm an hour and a half out. So I drove for probably 30 more minutes at about 70 miles an hour. Didn't really hear any other commotion. But then at one point I encountered traffic up ahead and I had to slow down to 55 miles an hour. And that's when I started to realize there was this like shh kind of noise happening. I was like, what is this? What is that noise? So I'm like, all right, I pull off the highway. I stop in at a 7-Eleven. I literally just pull in and I can hear something's dragging on the ground. But I get out of the car at the 7-Eleven and I look underneath, and basically this splash guard had gotten caught and had been brought down, not tucked under the car, but sort of just dragging on the ground because it had picked up the wind in between. So I'm an hour out of town. I have so much gear inside of the car, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have to call AAA, get them to tow this to a spot near me, where I am within 4 miles. And then I'm gonna have to call an Uber XL and Uber all the way home. And all this is happening at, 1 a.m. in the middle of, Palm Desert. And so I call AAA, they come, the guy's like, man, I don't have to tow you. I can just knock the bottom of this splash guard off. Is that okay with you? And I was like, dude, if you can do that, that'd be unbelievable. And he did. He really did. He took it off. I could drive home. It was no problem. AAA is the best money ever spent. But it goes to show you how the social media representation of these shows and the amazing footage does not always tell the full story. And in fact, it often doesn't tell nearly enough of the story. And yeah, this was just a kind of a humbling one in a certain way, but also a really good reminder of how you can be doing what you want to be doing, but it doesn't mean every other circumstance in your life is also perfect around what you want to be doing. And you need to remember that whenever you see people on tour doing anything else, because I don't think it's brought up enough. We often present such a straightforward vision of like, yeah, dude, I'm out here, I'm doing it, office for the day, whatever. But no, like there's complications and things go wrong, and that's all part of it, especially on tour. Oh my goodness, this wasn't a tour, I want to be clear, but especially on tour. So anyways, guys, I hope this was informative and interesting in some way, and I hope if you're a fan of Abby Carter, it was cool to see behind the scenes a little bit, especially for this first major show. She's a wonderful human. She's a really, really hardworking person and a really, really nice person. And that's, honestly, in this business, the highest compliment I think anybody can get, because everybody can play, but not everybody is a really, really nice person to be around, and she definitely is. So shout out to Michael Edwards for the call on this. Shout out to Cash and Alex Arnott for being unbelievable at rehearsals and playing the show. It was just a really, really great time. This music was really, really inspiring to learn. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Until then, keep playing, keep finding out what works for you.